Today we've got another good integral. We've got the integral from 0 to pi over 2 of sine x minus pi over 3 over cosine x minus pi over 6 dx. Okay, the whole problem we have on this one is that, first of all, we don't have just x as the angle, but the other thing is these angles are different. Here we've got the pi over 3, here we have the pi over 6. Now I know a few different ways to do it. We could go right to like using the different angle formula on both these. The only thing is then from there we get something we could do, but it's kind of a messy expression. I think what I want to do first is let's do a u substitution on the denominator, and that way maybe we'll get some cancellation. So I'm just going to do my u substitution for x minus pi over 6. And then before I take a derivative, let's get the value for the what's here, the angle in the numerator. So we want to get x minus pi over 3. And just rearranging this first equation, what we have for that is u is going to be equal to minus pi over 6. Then we can take a derivative on both sides and we have just dx is going to be equal to du. So then we'll come back over here. Let's go ahead and substitute. First updating the bounds, pi over 2. We can look at that as 3 pi over 6 minus pi over 6. That's just going to end up being pi over 3 here. And then plug a 0 in here and we're just going to have minus pi over 6 for the lower bound. Then using this value for the numerator, we're going to have sine of u minus pi over 6. The denominator just turns into cosine of u, and dx is just du. But then on this piece right here, let's simplify this with the different angle formula for sine. So doing that really quick, we're going to have sine of u. We want sine of the first thing times cosine of the second thing. So we can have cosine pi over 6. Then we keep the minus sign, then we just flip the order. We're going to have sine pi over 6 cosine of u. Cosine pi over 6 is going to be square root of 3 over 2 times sine u. And then minus sine pi over 6 is going to be 1/2 cosine u. So we can take this here and plug it back into our numerator. But now here we can just take cosine of u and divide it into our numerator and split this into two integrals. So when we do that, we're going to rewrite. So for the first part, the square root of 3 over 2 I'll bring out front of this first integral, same bounds. But then sine u over cosine u, I can just write this as tan u over here. The second one, I'll bring a minus 1/2 in front. But for this integral, the cosines are going to cancel, and that's just going to be 1 du over here. But now we have two easy integrals, so we'll go ahead and integrate. We have square root of 3 over 2. This is going to become just natural log absolute value secant u. What I think I'm going to do instead is use the formula natural log of cosine u, just to make it easier to evaluate, but I need to bring a minus sign out front. Then for the next part, integrating 1, that's just going to be u. So we have minus 1/2 u, and the whole thing's evaluated from minus pi over 6 to pi over 3. So first, evaluating at minus pi over 3, let's see what's going to happen. We're going to have natural log cosine at pi over 3, that's going to be 1/2. And then here we're going to have minus 1/2 times pi over 3, that's going to become minus pi over 6. Then let's see if I have enough space for the next part. So we're going to have, for the next part, we need a minus sign, plug in minus pi over 6. We're going to have minus times minus on square root of 3 over 2. It's going to be a plus square root of 3 over 2. Then we're going to have natural log cosine minus pi over 6 is going to be square root of 3 over 2 here. Then over here, minus times minus is plus 1/2 times minus pi over 6 gives me minus pi over 12. And let me clean up the board and we can just finish this thing off. Okay, now at this point what I want to do is I just want to put together our terms with a pi in it. And then also let's group together these natural log terms and see if we can simplify a little bit. So first on the natural log terms, let's factor out square root of 3 over 2. We have that in common. Now because we have a minus sign here, I can kind of divide it. So we'll have square root of 3 over 2. This one we'll flip it and write this as like 2 over 1. That way the 2's are going to cancel. Then on the pi terms, let's get a common denominator. I'll write this as minus 2 pi over 12 instead of pi over 6, minus pi over 12. Cleaning up this part, it's just going to be square root of 3 over 2, natural log square root of 3. Putting these together, we're going to end up with minus 3 pi over 12. That's going to be the same thing as minus pi over 4, and that's it. Okay, there you have it, a good example with the different angles on the sine and the cosine. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a good day.